All right. Well, here we are with our panel, or I'm sorry, our cabin sidewalls installed. Again, we just use cardstock for that. It's the sidewalls. And easy way to do that. Most cockpits, you've got your finite measurement, whatever it is, between the side keel or the top of your cockpit side. You have your floor, which again, when we're building these things, we want to make sure we're flat and square as much as we can be. So if the floor goes in flat, not tilted this way or this way, but it's in there as flat as it can be, then our sidewalls will be consistent, the measurement fore and aft. And in this case, we had 26 millimeter. 26 millimeters was the measurement from the our cabin floor to the side keel, and that was accurate on both sides. So all I did then was measure that we had the 26 millimeter. I added 5 millimeter for this top flange and 5 millimeters for the bottom. So we just measured out on our cardstock 36 millimeters. Made another strip at 5 millimeter from the top and 5 millimeter from the bottom, and those were the scoring lines, not the cut through. So we cut through at 36, right? Cut our strip at 36, scored a line at 5 millimeters in from the bottom and another one at 5 millimeters from the top, and made our two folds. Once we had that determination, then the strip was taken, held up to the cockpit this way, and that gave us our length. We just make a line here at the panel or at the back bulkhead, doesn't matter which way you're measuring, and then cut through our side panel at that point, and we had our parts. All right. That's pretty much typical of how sidewalls are going to be done. Again, if the cockpit sides are angled upward or backward, or however, in some cases you get kind of a different shape. It's not a straight rectangle like this, but it's a workable shape, and the method is the same. You would just take the two measurements, draw the diagonal line, make your two folds, and so on. So this is pretty much how that's done. And now I can detail the sides. We can add throttle quadrants and switch boxes and what have you. First we'll now at the point where we can give this an overall color, and I was thinking light gray. So we'll probably at this point spray in the color of light gray, and then add the black or metallic detail components. But anyway, that's the sidewalls. That's how that's done. I just wanted to give a quick view how we do that. And again, just using cardstock. If you want, you can use balsa. You can use the birch ply, 1/64 or 16th birch ply. Either one will work. The birch ply, instead of making these folds, you would cut through and actually form those edges and fill them and sand them and round them off and all that. It's essentially the same process, just a little bit more involved in the cardstock. Cardstock, you just fold it and it goes. There it is. And that's why I use it. And also, if you were making a flyer, if this was going to be an electric model, the cardstock is great. It doesn't add any weight. A little bit of glue line and the cardstock itself it's not a game changer in the weight wise. It won't change the center of gravity by anything more than a minuscule amount, and so on and so forth. So even if you're making a flyer, an electric flyer, there's no reason why you couldn't put a rudimentary cockpit in there. As long as you have space for your battery, and that can go below the deck. We leave room there. The little LiPo battery packs. If you were to cut out a battery compartment below the floor, you can even raise the floor up. I've got it at scale depth. It could be at half the depth and still give you that realistic look of a cockpit. So anyway, there's tips and tricks.